What's up, cinephiles? Okay, so now we are going to review season 2 of South Korea's very first Netflix series, Kingdom.
The events of Season 2 picks up from where the Season 1 cliffhanger ends. The Crown Prince Lee Chang makes a final stand on the gates of Sang-ju along with his battalion. In a surprise twist of events, these zombies are not only activated by night, they're actually activated by the temperature now that the winter has come, which seems like a tagline from a different show. There are a lot of political schemings going on with this series. So, Phil, what are your reactions?
I've watched season 1 and season 2 in one day. I've practically watched the entire Kingdom series yesterday. Kingdom is slowly turning into a guilty pleasure of mine. And most of the time when we say guilty pleasure is because it's not a particularly great show, but you still enjoy it nonetheless. The reason why I say that is because I think season 1 is much better than season 2. But nevertheless, I still enjoyed season 2 for what it is. Because it's still very tense. There's still a lot of tense moments. The zombie, oh my goodness, the makeup of these zombies are very realistically portrayed. And the politics, the scheming, everything is still a fun watch.
This series is very layered and I want to discuss first on its zombie aspect. And when it comes to that department, it's really terrifying. They really amplify the violence here. In season 2, heads will definitely roll, more gore is shown. And for me, the thing is, it never looks cheap. It's all contrasted with this stylistic and elegant production design. I've only seen season 1 days, couple of days leading before the premiere of season 2. So we're kind of in the same page here that it's also still fresh on my mind. And I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble disassociating season 1 from season 2. But in that regard, I'm gonna discuss first why I'm really truly drawn to this series. And not just in a guilty pleasure way. It feels so refreshing considering that the zombie subgenre has been so twisted and turned so many times to see this historical period drama mixed with campy horror action. It's like mixing oil with water, and these two things normally don't go together. And once you've seen that contrast, it's really appealing. You're kind of squirmish, but you can't take your eyes away from it because the cinematography is really gorgeous. They really get the production design here from the temples, the castles, the gardens. There's no question that the Joseon dynasty is really a fleshed out world. Most important elements of a zombie subgenre is the world building. So in that level, I have to say that this series really succeeds. When it comes to delivering the terror, the whole cast, they really are the stars of the show because I can only imagine the tremendous effort when it comes to building these production set pieces that they're able to distinguish the setting for the palaces and even those who are in the slums. Yeah, so I'm really impressed.
I agree. The biggest strength of this series is in its characters because they have this really layered, lovable characters. My favorite character is Seobi. Yeah, she's a badass. Where is she in the coronavirus pandemic?
We need someone like Jovi here.
Yeah, we need someone like Seobi, but really, besides the Crown Prince, Lee Chang, that's really my favorite character. And these characters, they're really strongly written. Another one of the biggest strengths of this entire series is the violence. They really make use of that mature rating, required viewing of 18 plus years old. They really make use of that by incorporating all this on-screen violence ongoing. They're not really shy about showing beheadings and all this flesh ripping happening by these monsters, especially during this time that I really have nothing much to do but stay indoors and watch this series about a pandemic happening while a pandemic is happening outside. So that's part of the charm why I enjoyed my viewing.
And also what I like about this series, some of our favorite characters here, some of them won't make it. And this series is really not afraid of killing some of those. The writers, if they really believe that the purpose of the character is no longer needed. By this episode, they're really going to cut off their character. And with its format of having 6 episodes per season, it's really a easy binge. Moving forward, I'm gonna do a lot of comparisons between Kingdom and another zombie show that I watch, which is The Walking Dead. And part of me felt like that series drags a lot of plot points, like feels repetitive. In here, the writers of The Kingdom know when to move on. Like, we've already tackled this, now let's move on. Because by the end of this season, a lot of subplots are going to wrap. You're thinking in your head, like, is this gonna be the last season? But they pulled something here which brings season 3 to a whole new different direction, which I'm really excited
about. Them killing off characters, it's like kind of Game of Thrones. No one's really safe. Without spoiling anything, there's this one character that I'm really intrigued by, and then when he bit the dust, I was like, what? Really? It kind of blew my mind that they were going to kill that character off that early. I thought that character is gonna definitely be a long-term character all throughout the next few seasons. But when they killed him off, I'm like, this is that kind of animal. Nice.
Yeah. But let's delve into the political subtext of this series, because one of the reasons why I think Kingdom is still a substantial watch, this is not a gore fest, gore form of amusement, it's because it has a lot of statements which are, you know, it tackles a lot of global issues. Like in season 1, there's the issue of overpopulation and hunger, which still remains resonance to today's world. And in here, season 2, we've seen a lot of different styles of leaderships, and also the allegiance on how does a dynasty work, because one of the intriguing aspects of this series is there's a flexible allegiance, especially when it comes to the ministers, that they just going to go pledge their allegiance to whoever has the upper hand. So that really intrigued me, because they seem to have blind loyalty, but then when push comes to shove.
I want to get into my issues. I really love season 1. But I think that is infinitely better paced than season 2. The pacing of season 2 is kind of all over the place. And another issue that I have is there are certain plot holes that I can see in season 2. So the writing is not necessarily as strong as season 1. My main issue actually with season 2 is the ending. I think for some it will work. Not to spoil anything again, at the ending they had to make a certain decision about something. It didn't really make much sense to me, is what I'm saying. The ending of this. So that's really a big issue for me besides the pacing and the writing.
I guess my biggest plot hole in this series is when it comes to zombies, because these zombies really furthers the mythology of how the nature of these zombies. Where do they really originate? How do you really get infected? These questions that were lingered in season 1, season 2 offers them answers. But at the same time, you're scratching your head, because I'll try to be as vague as I can, especially when it comes to the infection part. Like, your scientific mind is kinda gearing that, oh, if you're gonna be infected in this manner, do you think you're also gonna be affected if you're being exposed to via this manner? Like, things are that they cannot take you out of it. You're yearning more for a more refined screenplay. But with regards to the all-over aspect that you've said, while in season 1, it has a more focused story, considering that the action is mostly happening in the palace. And in here, they're really sprawled their world, like kind of a Game of Thrones, that the scenes keep jumping from this place to that place. I guess it didn't really bother much for me, because at this point, we have already established a lot of main characters that it's also important for me to follow their consecutive journeys. I guess to wrap things up, Kingdom season 2, really, if I enjoyed season 1, I just enjoyed season 2 because obviously they have more budget here. They are able to deliver more of the thrills and violence. It's really a step forward for Netflix, especially that they're bringing Asian cinema to mainstream, and more people, especially in the western side of this world, are getting access to this culture. So I am just really intrigued, and the pacing did it really threw me off because this is just such an easy binge for me. And with that, I really enjoyed this series, and I am really rooting for the characters, and I guess that's what's important. So I'm gonna give Kingdom Season 2 a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
While it is not as great as Season 1 in my opinion, because of the writing and the plot holes, this is still turning into a guilty pleasure of mine because I still really enjoyed seeing all this violence on screen, all this flesh-eating zombies terrorizing this very old Korea during the Joseon dynasty. Am I correct? I'm still going to give this series 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay guys, that wraps up our review for the Season 2 of Kingdom. Have you seen this series? Let us know in the comment section.
Okay, also if you like this video, click that like button and that notification bell so you can be up to date with our latest videos. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Bye!
Bye, stay safe guys.